Ah, the blue planet, the third rock from the sun, La Pachamama, home for all of us who inhabit this beautiful earth. And thanks to the internet, the world is more connected than ever before. With just a click of a button, people can instantly learn about places like Brazil, Italy, or Egypt. But it wasn't always like this. For thousands of years, most regions of the world were pretty much isolated from one another, each one creating their own language, religious beliefs, and cultural traditions. However, and this is where things get super interesting for us, despite this isolation, historians have found evidence of theater in every single inhabited continent, which brings us to our next two units. Welcome to Theater History! During the next two units, Theater History 1, Around the World, and Theater History 2, Western Theater, we will describe the origins of several theatrical cultures around the world, name important elements of different theatrical movements, list prominent practitioners throughout history, illustrate how theater has evolved over time, and finally, describe the ways in which theater history has influenced and shaped contemporary American theater. Get ready to go on an amazing worldwide theater history tour, all the way from ancient Greece to good old-fashioned American theater. As we say in the US, let's get this show on the road. Someone get me some dramatic opening music. Oh, I'm ready. Actors, play this! Let's start by breaking down the first unit in this history portion. Theater History 1, Around the World. It's composed of the following lessons: Origins of Greek Theater, Roman Theater to the Middle Ages, Intro to Eastern Theater, Theater Around the World, and Commedia dell'arte. We'll begin our theater history journey in ancient Greece, more exactly during 6th century BCE, so a long time ago. In Origins of Greek Theater, we will describe the theater festival of Dionysus, name some important elements of Greek theater, and list the most prominent playwrights and actors of ancient Greek theater. We will then move on to the Roman Empire during Roman theater to the Middle Ages. In this lesson, we will describe a brief history of theater from the Roman Empire through the Middle Ages, and list the most famous playwrights, practitioners, and places of each time period. We will also describe some of the major struggles theater suffered during this time. I'm talking about everything from financial troubles to flat-out persecution. But theater persevered, and I'm really excited to tell you all about it. However, if you think that we would only focus on Europe, think again. What do Smiling Babies, Sunshine, and theater have in common? They are all amazing and universal. The next lesson in this unit, Intro to Eastern Theater, takes us across the world to the Far East. In this lesson, we will describe the origins, name important elements, and list the most important practitioners of three different forms of East Asian theater: Nangshi in China, No in Japan, and Taichung in Korea. We couldn't call this a world tour without visiting Africa and South America. Our next lesson, Theater Around the World, will study African traditional theater, shadow puppet plays in Egypt, and oral storytelling traditions in South America. Now, I know what you're thinking. What happened in Europe after the Middle Ages? Don't worry, I got you. Our final lesson in Unit 2, Commedia dell'arte, brings us back to Europe at the end of the Middle Ages and into the Renaissance. This lesson will explore an Italian style of comedy that completely revolutionized Western theater. We'll study Commedia dell'arte's origins, important elements, and its staple stock characters. After that, we will continue with the history journey in Unit 3, but let's not get ahead of ourselves just yet. Now, before we review today's video, I'm sure many of you have one very important question in mind. Why should I study all of this? I mean, the ancient Greeks, the Romans, the Incas, all of these civilizations rose and crumbled. They are long gone. So why should we study them? That's a very valid question. Firstly, think about this. The fact that there is evidence of theater in all of these places during all these different time periods shows us that human beings have the inherent need to tell stories. Humans need to produce theater. It's just part of who we are. It doesn't matter who you are, where you are, or what your background is. Wherever you are in this world, you will be surrounded by theater because as long as there are humans on this planet, there will be theater. And another thing, despite the fact that many of these ancient civilizations no longer exist, their impact on our current societies still remains to this day. That is why we study theater history, so that we can learn from the past, untangle our present, and build a bridge to the future together. That being said, let's review today's video. Today we broke down the first unit in our theater history portion, Theater History 1, Around the World, which encompasses Origins of Greek Theater, Roman Theater to the Middle Ages, Intro to Eastern Theater, Theater Around the World, and Commedia dell'arte. We also established that in each of these lessons we will describe the origins of several theatrical cultures around the world, name important elements of different theatrical movements, list prominent practitioners throughout history, illustrate how theater has evolved over time, and finally, describe the ways in which theater history has influenced and shaped contemporary American theater. I'm really excited to start this journey throughout theater history with you. Now, what are we waiting for? Let's get this show on the road. First up, Greece. And remember, in theater, like in life, the limit is your imagination.